But we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less from the kickoff to the final whistle blow.
Wasted
We'll
world
take
of
the two
sports,
and we're ready to go.
Oh, he's cocked the head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
It's all about the last
Ahoy!
choice.
He's nearly taken security's head off.
When the banter is prime.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports
We're
is.
having a good time. We break down the plays, but it's all in jest.
Welcome back. Waste a lot of sports. The final game of the round. Manly at home versus my Cronulla Sharks. Oh boy, how's this one going to go? Fingers crossed that it goes all right for my Sharks. Look, I've gone for Manly. Oh, should I change my tip? I feel like I'm betraying my own team. Even though I expect Manly will win, I feel like I'm horribly betraying my own team by not selecting them. I've got to have faith, right? I'm thinking about it. I'm running out of time. I've got about 3 minutes to decide. Am I going to change my mind and support my team? Officially support my team by changing my tip? Because you know what will happen? Here's what will happen. The Sharks will go on and lose the game, and I'll go, I knew it. That's what I get for having faith in you. Grandpa Simpson sort of scenario. That's what I get for having faith in you. Or they'll go on and win, and I'll be like, that's what I get for not selecting my own team. RD Gamings. Ahoy, mate. Doing very well, thank you, RD. Burko says, tip from your brain, not the heart. All right, there you go, Burko. I'm going to stick with Manly. But it's your fault now if it loses. Sixer says, I just need 1 of 4 plays to hit to break even. Wow, fingers crossed for that one, Sixer. Jim Condon, ahoy, mate. Come on, Sharks, says Jim Condon. I've just got a feeling. Okay, Manly are at home. Sharks do quite all right. Let's have a look at some stats. All right, this might help me decide. Previous matches. Obviously, they played earlier in the year. Just a few weeks ago. Sharks won 24-18. I didn't pick them on that day. And they went ahead and won. Sunday, the 8th of September, 2024. The Sharks won 40 points to 12 at 4 Pines Park. Hang on, was Tommy playing that day? Okay. But that was a Manly team without Tommy Turbo. So, a Manly team without Tommy Turbo is a completely different beast, isn't it? So that 40-20 result doesn't really mean anything. Oh, God. I'm doing my best to talk myself into this. 49% wins overall. Wins at this venue. Okay. Wins at this venue. 6 of the last 18. But then the Warriors got up this weekend at a venue they traditionally don't do well at. Oh, God. All right. I'm going to tip the Sharks. I'm going to tip my team. I'm going to back them in. Why not? I've got nothing to lose on the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest, which is wastedsports.com.au/games. If you'd like to come along and join our tipping and fantasy leagues, completely free. I've got to support my own team. I've got nothing to lose here. I'm trailing behind in the competition. I'm currently down in 45th place on the Wasted World of Sports tipping league out of 117. I feel like I've got to start doing some tough calls here to try and catch up. 70% of people have gone for Manly. Only 30 have gone for the Sharks. Let's do it. Let's back my own team. Blair 420, ahoy mates. Welcome back. Trent, ahoy there. Jaden AU, ahoy. WST, ahoy mate. Innocent Anglerfish. Judah Shibian Burko, ahoy mate. Only 70 series channel, ahoy. Jim Condon, ahoy mate. And of course, Sixer. Let's go. Let's get this game happening. I'm excited. Final game of the round. Fingers crossed for a good one. wastedsports.com.au/games, as I said, is the place to go to join our fantasy and tipping leagues. My same game multi for this one, Britton Nickera, Jason Saab, Sam Stonestreet, and holy moly, Olakawatu. Gaz Johnson, ahoy mates. Lean Dogs, Hard Hogs, ahoy buddy. Stone Street, Turbo, Eero, Blake, and Cola. Going in for the 5-legger. I like it. No, as a matter of fact, I love it. I love a good 5-leg. You know what? I actually had a 12-leg once. It obviously wasn't all try scorers, but it was the most ridiculous wager I'd ever thrown down. A 12-legger. It involved time of first try, had some try scorers in there, half-time leader, full-time score, had all kinds of things in there. A nice big 12-legger. It didn't win. It didn't even get close, but hey, it was fun. Judah Shivian, before that, sorry, Drape Mongreen, ahoy mates. Judah Shivian says, the way I see it is the Eagles beat the Panthers, and the Panthers beat the Broncos, and the Broncos beat the Bullies. WST says your same game multi is Manly 1-12, Olakawatu try, Saab try, I like it so far, Turbo try, and Trindle try for $650. I love it, Judah. I always refer to that as the high school logic. You know, the old high school logic where you have arguments in the schoolyard. And it's like, oh, that proves my team's better than your team because my team beat this team and your team lost to that team. Which obviously takes in no regard for injuries or suspensions that week or playing conditions. The schoolyard logic. I love it. Love it. Tommy Trbojevic. Manly are a very, very different beast when Tommy Turbo... Oh, cheerleaders in the background. Okay, I'll calm down. I shouldn't be getting excited over that. Referee blows his whistle, and we're off and running here at 4 Pines Park. Sharks with the kickoff. Cherry Evans and his elongated neck takes the ball and gives it off to Jakey Trbojevic for the hit up. Manly with first use of it inside their own 10. Here's Olakawatu. Charges into contact. So we're all locked in. I've switched up my tip. I'm going to regret that at the end of the game. I know it. I just know it. And I've got my 4-leg same game multi all locked in as Garrick almost squirts through half a gap. Good start here for Manly, threatening that short side. Jason Saab with the carry. Cherry Evans puts the kick in here on the 5th and last. And Kennedy takes it. And here come the Sharks with their first opportunity. Ben Trbojevic leads the kick chase and wraps up Kennedy inside the 20. I fast forward to the, I'm going to say the money shot. I love the username, by the way. I fast forward to the money shot, says hit the 3,700 on Munster. 700 on Ramian. Let's go. Good call there. I fast forward to the money shot. Gamer Mel, ahoy. As Kennedy receives a loose offload. Speaking of receiving, someone on TikTok fast forwards to the receiving parts of... All right, I'll stop. Fifth and last on halfway. Sharks put the ball high. It's not a contestable kick, but at least they've chased up in a wall. And Tommy Turbo swamped at the back. Tola Cola carries outside the 20. I've just got to fix up something on my screen here quickly. As Manly, with slick hands, out to the right edge. Garrick onto Saab. Saab one-on-one with Mulatalo. Mulatalo shuts him down. Good defense out wide. Manly, though, making good progress upfield. Takiaho, fifth and last. They're 35 out. Cherry Evans stays on the short side. Puts this one high. Pressure on the kick chase. Kennedy loses it. Will Kennedy has lost it. Oh, penalty to the Sharks. That's a let-off. Contact. Tommy Turbo has arrived before the ball, made contact with Kennedy, and that is what the penalty's for here. And we can see he does. I mean, it's very minimal. But the rules are the rules. And that one's been called. Sharks, a little bit of a let-off. Nice and early there. And they'll play the ball now 40 meters out from their own line. Hazelton spins into the tackle. Dizzy the Egg. Does anyone know who the hell I'm on about when I call him Dizzy the Egg? I've asked this question a couple of times in the chat. Dizzy the Egg Hazelton. As the Sharks attack the short side. Tackle 4. Fanua Blake gets up and plays it quickly. Dizzy to Hines. Out the back for Kennedy. Dummies. The double pump for Ramian. Ramian always has super glue on his hands. So forget about a pass. And he goes to ground. Set restart. Oh, that's criminal. And Hines goes through half a gap. Had no support with him. The Sharks 2 meters out. Hazelton pops it up there for Noah Blake. And they're just a couple of meters out here. They're close, the Sharks. Brayley heads across field. He's got Hines. Kennedy offloads back to Hines. And he's wrapped up 2 meters out. Trindle onto Dizzy the Egg. 5 meters out. 2 tackles left. Here's Fanua Blake. Sets it up in front of the post. Fifth and last. 4.5 gone. No score. They go left for Trindle. Out the back for Kennedy, who spills it. And then Cherry Evans knocks it on. Double knock on. And tensions flare up here. They're in the face of Kennedy. They try to disrupt him. Kennedy comes up with the spilt ball. Ruben Garrick racing up and putting pressure on. But, I mean, the Sharks are looking all right here early on, I've got to say. Early days, though, of course. 5 minutes gone. Plenty of time left in this one, as I say. But they've come to play, at least, early on. A surprising start for them. Final game of the round. It's disappointing, really, isn't it, that we've come to an end? As Manly come up with the spilt ball. 40 out from their own line. Dropped in contact. Olakau'atu. Well, Manly, a little bit of a shaky start here. A couple of errors. And the Sharks with a real opportunity here. On the back of that previous set. They've got themselves a chance here for first points. Gina, ahoy. Jesse Ramian offloads for Brayley. Back to McInnes. 30 meters out in midfield. Can the Sharks bag the first points? It'd be important for them. Vanua Blake takes it inside the 20. Brayley with the one-handed scoop. Hines in midfield to Nickera. Nickera backs into the defense. 10 meters out. Tackle 3. Brayley heads off across field. He's got Hines. Hines dummies. And he's brought to ground by Olakawatu. 10 meters out. Over on that left edge. McInnes to Hazelton in midfield. A settler for the 5th and last. Where do they go? Brayley sends it right for Trindle. Out the back for Kennedy. And they're up quickly on Kennedy. Oh, they're jamming up on Kennedy. This Manly defense has got the Sharks figured out, man. Shut down again on the 5th and last. Manly just racing up on Kennedy at the back. And the Sharks can't get a 5th play on. They have worked them out big time. They're going to have to do something different in that red zone on the 5th and last. 7.5 gone, no score. Down the short side, Garrick. They've been attacking a lot down that right edge, short side. Garrick plays it just short of halfway. Cherry Evans, out the back it goes for Brooks. Now Tommy Turbo to Kohler. Pops it up for Hopewade, who fights his way through. Hopewade brought down from behind by Ramian. And a penalty now to Manly. Lehigh Hopewade made the break. They thought about a captain's challenge there, the Sharks, but thought better of it. It's a little early to be burning your challenge. So Manly, a large portion of this first half has been played inside their own, down in their own end. This will be a good opportunity for them. Their first opportunity, really, inside Sharks territory. Brooks in midfield, 35 out to Cherry Evans, and now Gerbo, 30 out from the line. Down the short side again, loose pass out the back. Sharks through Mulatalo. Offloads to Kennedy. Broken play here for the Sharks. Kennedy's up over halfway, and he's brought to ground on tackle 1. So Manly, a mistake early in the tackle count. Sharks back on the attack. 40 meters out. Set restart. Hines inside for Hazelton. Chopped down. 30 out in midfield. Hazelton staying down. Slow to get up here. He landed heavily on his shoulder. And Dizzy the Egg might be broken here. He fell awkwardly on that elbow, which probably jammed up on his shoulder. That looked nasty. Dizzy the Egg Hazelton. Down and out. Busted shoulder. So 9.5 minutes gone. And no score here. Cash 900 wants to know what the score was. Storm versus the Tigers. I believe it ended up 64-0 in favour of the Storm. McInnes inside to Fanua Blake. 30 metres out from the Manly line. Short side they go. Trindle. To Billy Burns. 25 out. Brayley to Fanua Blake. Hines out the back. Into contact. That's the 4th. Fanua Blake at first receiver to Trindle. Kennedy up in the line again. Eero puts the fend on. And he's half a metre out here over on that left edge. 5th and last for the Sharks. Trindle with the crossfield kick. Ramian contests, but it's well taken by Burbo. Ben Trbojevic, a metre out from his own try line. Judah Shivian was the score in the last game. the most lopsided score all season? It had to be. 100% had to be. Surely. 64-0. It's, yeah, definitely been the biggest blowout of the year. A couple of teams have had 50 put on them, but they've also scored some points themselves as Manly attack this right edge again. They're loving it down there. Fifth and last, though. Cherry Evans to kick from inside his own 30. That was impressive defense from the Sharks. Stone Street takes this on the full, and they will start this set just short of their own 40-meter line. More good field position for the Sharks, but absolutely nothing to show for it yet. 11 minutes in. Mulatalo plays it. Brayley finds some space around the ruck. Inside ball for Nickera. Nickera goes straight up the middle, and Tommy Turbo brings him down. Quick play the ball. They go left. Hines chips it in over the top. Looking for Mulatalo. Mulatalo scores. Ronaldo Mulatalo off the back of some great heads-up play from Nico Hines. Tommy Turbo made the tackle on Nickera after the line break, so Manly had no fallback. Nico pulls the trigger early with a pin-perfect kick into the end goal, and Mulatalo wins the chase. Beautiful play there from the Sharks. I mean, that was really good heads-up play. Recognizing that the fullback made the tackle, was out of the line, and Mulatalo outpaces Garrick. Try time for the Sharkies. And we give Nico a lot of crap, but credit where credit is due. That was beautiful heads-up halfback play. Player 420, you had Mulatalo. Now you just need Saab and Stone Street. Well, I hope you get it, mate, because Saab and Stone Street are in mine as well. Beautiful heads-up play. Wayne, stretch. Ahoy, mate. You know what, Wayne? Honestly, I completely forgot that Backlash was even on today. Completely forgot about it. Hines with the conversion attempt from just to the left of the posts. Puts it over, and the Sharks are up 6-0. Mulatalo with the first try. Nico with the conversion. Marley Prime asks if I think Hines will make the New South Wales squad. No, I really don't. I really don't. There are honestly so many better options. And I say that as a Sharks fan. There are many better options. Noah Nathan. Try was scored by Ronaldo Mulatalo. Sharks leading 6-0. Manly go half-hearted with that restart. And Mulatalo, the try scorer, comes down with it. The Sharks start the set 20 out from their own line. Vanua Blake is cut out. It goes to McInnes. And now Hazelton, who's obviously all right, to take tackle 3. Tommy Turbo looking a little distressed in back play. Brayley scoots out a dummy half again. Oh, they're finding some meters around marker. 5th and last. Trindle puts it high down the middle of the field. Taken by Tommy Turbo at the back. And he's met by the chase. Well done there for the Sharks. Billy Burns leading the way. Lehigh Hopewade brings it out to the 30. Tackle 4 now for Manly. 14.5 gone. 6-0. Sharks up. Brooks. Short ball for Ben Trbojevic. Tackled on halfway. 5th and last. Cherry Evans now puts it high. Backing up as Mulatalo takes it just outside his own goal line. And they will start this set from inside their own 10. And straight through here goes the number 4, Kaolero. Told to go back to the mark and play it. McInnes angles back towards the tackled area. 30 out from their own line on play 3. Fanua Blake out the back for Hines. Bobbles the ball. Pops it on now for Ramian. Ramian tries to fend off. But Kohler keeps hold of him. He does get the ball away. And Hines is brought down just short of halfway. Fanua Blake now. Strong carry. And a big hit. Equally big hit there from Takiaho. 5th and last for Hines to put it high. Tommy Turbo's under it. Takes it under no pressure at the back. And he's wrapped up now 15 metres out from his own line. Manly back in possession. Garrick outside the 30. It's Manly have been pinned down their own end. This has been incredible. The territorial control of the Sharks early in this game. And it's now been plucked out of the air by Nikora. He's got support from Ramian. Intercepted. And they start their set now 25 out. Oh, it's going pear-shaped here for Manly. Stone Street out of dummy half. 10 metres out from the line. Front foot ball. Brayley down the short side for Ramian. Steps back in field. Ramian looks to offload, and it's been intercepted by Ben Trbojevic. But a penalty to the Sharks as Manly are not square at marker. No advantage played. Oh, do they take it? Well, it's out wide. It's 10 metres in from touch. They could have a shot at 2 here, or they could keep the pressure on. The way that the games have been going this weekend, I would say keep the pressure on. And that's what they do. McInnes in midfield. She has definitely found something that's really captured her attention out there. Brayley to Hines. The crash ball for Fanua Blake. And Adam Fanua Blake scores. 10 points to 0. The Sharkies are on a roll. Fanua Blake scores beside the posts. Beautiful set-piece play. Decoy runners. And Brayley to Hines. Hits the chest of Fanua Blake, angling back in. And he's basically gone over untouched. 10 points to 0. The Sharks kick to come. Oh, they've started this game extremely well. What a start. Even I wasn't expecting this. I did change my tip at the last second and go with the Sharks, trying to make up some ground here in the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. But it was a tip out of pure hope. And there's a long way to go, of course. There'll be no chickens counted. Absolutely no chickens counted after everything that we've seen this weekend. Should be a simple conversion here for Nico. 10 points to 0. The Sharks surely about to be 12. Quick break. I'll see what the dog's barking at, and I'll be right back. I'll take the opportunity to grab myself another jack. Yeah. Somebody parked across the street. It doesn't even involve us, but it captured her attention. Wolfie. Someone put 30K on Manly head-to-head. That's not as crazy as that 1K on the Tigers. 12-0 Sharks back underway. Fanua Blake and Mulatalo, the try scorers. Both converted by Nico. And this has been a dream start for the Sharks. A venue that they've had some recent success at. Now, loose carry, spilt out the back. Nicola comes up with the error. And this is what the Sharks do. On the back of points, first set of 6, and it's Lukey Brooks. Lukey Brooks on Britton Nicola. That's a mismatch, and Brooks has won the battle. Carde is asking if Ruben Garrick is playing. Ruben Garrick is playing. It's just everybody for Manly's been a little bit quiet at the moment. They might have a chance here. Cherry Evans to Takiaho. 20 meters out from the line. To Vunga. To Brooks. Down the left edge they go. Kohler can't get free. 15 out on this left edge. Brooks in midfield to Tavunga with a settler on play 3 in front of the post. 15 out. Options left and right. They go right for Jakey. Now to DCE. Cut out pass to Garrick. Garrick spills it. The Sharks have held on. A cutout pass to Ruben Garrick, who spills it. And Manly, frustrated. Mulatalo's letting them know about it. Ronaldo, I don't like it when he gets this lippy. He should just focus on playing the game. Mulatalo's a good player when he just focuses on playing the game. He loves to get involved in all the niggle, doesn't he? His attitude gets carried away. Or his emotions get carried away, I should say. He needs to just calm down and play the game. There's no need to get so lippy with the opposition. It's only 12 points to 0. 21 minutes into the game. You get lippy too early, you can start to look foolish. Kennedy now. Just short of the 40. And a penalty to the Sharks. A second effort in the tackle. Penalty to the Sharks on their own 40. They'll be straight back down now into Manly's territory. I'm wondering if they're playing with some sort of breeze here in the first half. Do they have the wind at their backs? The way that the game's gone would suggest it's not that case at all. Manly are just coming up with mistakes. Who knows what the second half will bring. Sharks find touch, 40 out from the line. And Hazelton takes tackle 1 in midfield. Hines dummies outside. Inside ball to Nicola. Nicola stands in the tackle. Padua Blake now on the inside line. They love that ball on the inside, the Sharkies. Blanks revival, ahoy mate. Hines, short ball is dropped there by Billy Burns. And Tommy Turbo looks to counter-attack. But he's wrapped up now, 25 out from his own line. 0 tackle here for Manly. Reedy, ahoy Reedy. You need holy moly, Saab and Nicola. Scott Wood says it's not windy in Sydney. As Brooks here with the double pump in midfield. Tackle 2 now for Manly. Effectively 3 plays, though. There was the 0 tackle. Jakey boy outside the 40. Sharks defending well at the moment. And here goes Takiaho up over halfway. Offloads back for Olakauatu. Olakauatu beats 1. 40 out from the line. Turbo's back. Blanks revival, yes. Tavunga in midfield. Straightens the attack. 35 out now on the 5th and last. DCE on the short side. Puts it high. A contestable ball. Kennedy moves forward and takes it well. Well, Tommy Turbo overran it. And it ended up being an easy take there for Kennedy. Very overcast, but not windy. I'll tell you where it is windy. Brisbane. I can hear branches banging on my windows. Lots of activity going out there. Actually, one of my banana trees nearly fell over in the backyard earlier. Matthew Steen, ahoy there, mate. Fifth and last for the Sharks. Trindle, from just his side of halfway, puts it high. Tommy Turbo's under it. And Turbo will bring it out to the 20. He's got that knee all bandaged up. Well, not bandaged. Do you know the stuff I'm talking about? It's not a brace, because it's like a rubbery sort of, just to hold the knee in place effectively, support the knee. A strap. I guess that's, yeah, I mean, that's as good as word as any. An elastic strap as the Manly Sea Eagles now go over halfway. On tackle 4, Ben Trbojevic now. Strong carry to 30 out. Good set of 6 this one for Manly. DCE chips it in over the top, but he's picked out Kennedy at the back. Well, that's a shocking kick from Cherry Evans. That might be Cherry Evans' worst kick of his entire career. Manly, they just haven't entered this game yet. Is it going to be another Raiders Bulldogs? Are the Sharks going to be leading 20-0 at the break? And then Manly come back and rout them in the second? Vanua Blake up to halfway here on the 5th and last. Errors every time they get down the Sharks' end. Trindle puts it high. The chasers come through, but taken by Turbo at the back, and he's chopped down by Mulatalo. Manly back in possession, but really not asking any questions of the Sharks at the moment. Gaz Johnson says, so Turbo has a strap on. He does indeed. Whatever we call it. I mean, it might be a brace, but when I think of brace, I think not elastic. I think of like what Stone Cold Steve Austin used to wear, as that's a better kick from Cherry Evans, but it sits up just inside the field of play for Stone Street, and Stone Street will take it back into contact himself. 15 out from his own line in midfield. Sharks back in possession. Kennedy taken down by Brooks. I tell you what, Lukey Brooks, for such a little fella, he can hit. And they come up with a mistake now, the Sharks. Olakuatu picks up the loose ball. 0 tackle. Here's an opportunity now for Manly. Their best one yet. Nathan Brown's on the field. That'll give him some go forward. And go forward he does. 10 meters out now. Manly in front of the posts. Simpkin goes left for Brooks. Short ball for Coca-Cola. Cola's tackled inside the 10. And Bullymore angles back in. Ethan Bullymore taken a meter short here on play 3. Sharks defense holding on at the moment. Cherry Evans. The cutout pass for Garrick. Garrick's half a meter out. Garrick. Slow play the ball. He's lost it. Ruben Garrick, has he? No. Go back and play it, says the referee. Oh, they've given a penalty here to Manly. A penalty here to Manly. The Sharks were doing so well to hold on there, but they've given away a penalty late in the tackle count. And they tap and go. Cherry Evans hands it off to Brown. And Brown is tackled 5 meters out. Jakey Trbojevic angles back in towards the tackled area. 2 meters out. Simpkin to Cherry Evans. Changes direction. And then settles it down just to the right of the posts. 5 meters out. Brooks out the back to nobody. And it's been lost by the Manly Sea Eagles, has it? No. Scooped up by Olakuatu. Don't know how he's managed to hold on to that. Well, Bullymore hasn't. Bullymore spills it. And Manly come up with another mistake on the attack. Ethan Bullymore. What a pickup this was by Olakau'atu. I thought for sure he had spilt that. Well, he did. He bobbled it, but recollected it before it hit the ground. Well, I tell you what, 30 minutes into this game, Manly, they need to wake up. Hines up to halfway. Cut out pass for Ramian. Ramian beats the tackle of Brooks, but he's brought down just inside Manly's territory. Brayley to Jesse Colquhoun. And Colquhoun 30 metres out. On the fifth and last to Trindle in midfield. Trindle puts it high. And it's been lost by Tommy Turbo. Into the hands of Nickera. The ball spills free. And Jesse Ramian will ground it. But this will be no try. They'll have a look at everything here. Looking at a Sharks knock on. Tommy Turbo went up for it. Nickera went up for it. Nickera gets a hand to it, slaps it into the face of Tommy T. And then the ball spills backwards, picked up by Ramian. So this will be a knock-on against the Sharks. Manly ball. They'll get the, well, it'll be a fifth tackle. It'll be a handover. 10 metres out. Handover ball, 10 metres out from their own line. Manly, a little bit of a scare there. They need to start putting something together here. The Sea Eagles, the home side. Every time they get down the other end, they seem to come up with a mistake. And obviously, they've really got to fix that. On halfway, Brown out the back for Brooks. Brooks steps up over the halfway line. Fifth and last, the kick is in. Will Kennedy takes it 10 metres out from their own line. Sharks in possession. UFC says you can't tell me that Xavier Savage won't be wing for New South Wales. UFC, Xavier Savage won't be wing for New South Wales. Not now, not ever. Did you not see that game? Xavier Savage dropped the ball about 72 times throughout the course of that match. Let the Bulldogs back in. And he's a Queenslander as well. Well, it's all right. UFC has selected for New South Wales this year Jamal Fogarty, Corey Horsburgh, and now Xavier Savage. Should we pick Cameron Munster as well, UFC? Cameron Munster for New South Wales 5'8". Why not? "30 metres out from their own line here, Manly. 8 minutes to go until the halftime break. Tommy Turbo in at first receiver. Hands it off to DCE. And now out wide to the right, Olakau'atu, one-on-one with the Ero. Ero makes the hit. Olakau'atu offloads, and it's been intercepted by Hamlin Uele. And big, bad Brendan Hamlin Uele. Down the left-hand wing he goes. But he obviously doesn't have the pace. Saab gets him and brings him down. And Mulatalo now bursts up the middle. Scooped up by Brayley. Trindle hands it off here for Jesse Colquhoun. 20 metres out from the line. Trindle finds half a gap, beats the defence, and he's brought down 10 out from the line. Hines, huge Harbour Bridge ball out for Stone Street. Stone Street cuts back in field. And he's been taken high, has he? Half a metre out. Yes, he has been. Penalty for high contact. Well, Manly. They've done well to hold on their scrambling defence. Stone Street was nearly in there for a tick off the multi. So close, yet so far. They're going to have a shot at 2. Well, there you go. They have elected to have a shot at 2 here, the Sharkies. Just to pile on some more scoreboard pressure. And make it 14 points to 0 lead. The penalty right out in front. Well, it's not right out in front. It's actually very wide to the right. Nico Hines steps up to have a shot. Oakley says up the Cronulla. Looking for a 14 points to 0 lead. Nico. From about 10 to the right of the post. Puts it down the middle. Nico Hines makes it 14 points to 0. The Sharks, 2 converted tries and now a penalty goal. And 14 points to 0, I think, is a justifiable scoreline based on the way this half has gone so far. The Sharks have been very dominant. Manly just making too many mistakes. And 14-0, I think, is a very justified scoreline. But are we in for another game of 2 halves? There's 5 minutes left until the halftime break. Can Manly get themselves on the board, or is it going to be another complete swing at halftime? And we see Manly have the better of the second 40. Back underway. Trindle takes it. And running it out into contact there is Oregon Kafusi for the Sharkies. WST cheering on Manly. Come on, Manly, he says, as Brayley tries to duck under the defense of Ben Trbojevic. Trindle is going to kick from inside the 30 here on tackle 3, but Tommy Turbo's back to take it on the full. Cuts off the 40-20. Gaz Johnson says, honestly, Manly are lucky that it's only 14 the way they've been playing. As Ruben Garrick feels like he's been caught high here. Let's see if he stays down. No, credit to him. He gets up and plays on. That's what you like to see. We don't want to see the milk. Enough of the milk. Jake Trbojevic hands it off inside here for Brown. Brown's tackled on halfway. Play 4. Ruben Garrick is with the trainer in back play. That'll be bad news for anyone who's got Ruben Garrick in their same game multi. 5th and last. Manly with the high ball. And it's been taken by the Sharks on the bounce. Ruben Garrick's with the trainer in back play. Couldn't notice anything visibly wrong with him. He wasn't limping. He wasn't favoring an arm or anything like that. He was just with the trainer in back play. No news on that just yet. As Jesse Rayman here staying down. Oh, come on, Jesse. We're better than this. Up you get, mate. We don't want to see any of the milking. Well, he's appealing for a crusher, I feel like. Nothing in that, really. Just get up and play it, Jesse. CRWKY. Any chance Kaolero gets a try? Absolutely. Certainly a chance. Penalty now this time. This time it's a crusher. Well, they got away with the last one, which I think was fair. But penalty this time. A crusher. And the Sharks might get one last chance here before halftime. Finding touch on halfway. I tell you what, as a Sharks supporter, I don't know if I want the Sharks to go in 20 points to nil at halftime, as they've come up with a mistake here on... Oh, no. The referee just said go back and play it on the mark. I thought they dropped the ball. So the Sharks have it 40 out. I don't know if they want 20 points to nil. We saw what happened at 20-0 in the last game. Not the last game, but the last game that was 20-0 at halftime. As KL Iro plays it 20 meters out from the line. Trindle shows it inside. Goes out for Hines. Heading cross field. Loose pass out the back. And it's been knocked on by Manly. No, play on, says the referee. Well, Nico can't believe that there's not a call for knock on there somewhere. And Manly, tackle 2, short of halfway. Can they get themselves within range to have a crack here? Let's have a look. This pass from Hines. Yeah, it might have been a cheeky little touch there from Manly. So they might have got away with one there, the Sea Eagles. Cherry Evans down the short side to Garrick. Garrick had to reach back for it. That stalls the momentum. And Garrick's brought down 40 meters out from the line over on that right edge. 2 tackles left. Simpkin into Jake Trbojevic. Pressure on Brooks. Oh, Jesse Ramian flying up on Luke Brooks. He heard the footsteps. He saw the big fella out of the corner of his eye, and he spills the ball. 30 seconds to go until the break. And Brooks with the mistake on halfway. 14 points to nil. It's looking like that's going to be the halftime score. The Sharks, they've come to play, but Melbourne Storm, Tigers aside, it's been a weekend of comebacks, hasn't it? So let's not get too carried away just yet. Scrum down, Trindle over to Ramian, who angles back in. 45 out from Manly's line. Time's up on the clock. Halftime is blown. 14-0 at the break. The Sharks, well, they've come to play. They have come to play. 14 points to nil at the break. Is it going to be enough? You feel like they probably could have stolen some more points there. The way that they dominated territory and possession throughout the course of that half, maybe it is a little bit lucky for Manly to still be not completely blown off the park, shall we say. They're still within distance. 14 is not insurmountable. Not by any stretch of the imagination is 14 an insurmountable comeback. That is achievable. General X says, what are my thoughts on the Raiders-Bulldogs game? I think it ended up the way that I personally expected it to end up. That second half, the Bulldogs on the back of Stephen Crichton. Stephen Crichton, man of the match performance, by the way. Stephen Crichton took the team on his back, led from the front, and just said, follow me. Follow me home, boys. He had an immense second half. The Raiders, well, I do apologize if there's any Raiders fans in the chat. But, I mean, let's be real. Credit where credit's due. Look, they've done well. They always do better than people expect them to do, and I'll give them credit for that. But, I mean, let's be honest. They've been pretty lucky so far this year. 2 or 3 games now that they've won at the death. And look, like I said, credit where credit's due. They're fit and they're tenacious, and they keep themselves in the fight to the very end to have themselves in that position where they can get the bounce off a kick right before full time. So you've got to give them credit for that. You can't take that off them. But the Raiders have been pretty lucky. You can't build a premiership run off luck. They will continue to tumble down the table. I reckon the Raiders end up finishing about 12th, 11th or 12th by the end of the year. And the Bulldogs in that second half showed I mean, 32-0, I think, was probably more what I was expecting, to be honest. General X says, who do I think are the favourites to win the comp? I said from full time of last year's grand final, I said 2025 will be the year of the Storm. Year of the Storm. Nothing has happened that has changed my mind on that. Even the games that they lost, they've had reasons for that loss. No Jerome Hughes, no Harry Grant, no Cameron Munster at various points throughout the year. They're still the favourites for mine. And it is the Storm's premiership to lose, I dare say. Cam says up the Sharks. Reese says poor play from Manly so far. It really has been, hasn't it? Manly, every time they get down into the Sharks' end, they come up with a mistake. And a lot of them have been unforced errors, risky offloads that probably only have a 50-50 of coming off. 50% chance of coming off. Spilt ball, bad passes, terrible kicks. I mean, Cherry Evans is probably having one of his worst kicking games. Jordan reckons that Cherry Evans is thinking about the Chooks already. Quite possibly so. Maybe he's gunning for an early release. Wouldn't that be funny if DCE ended up at the Roosters before the season's ended? I can't imagine it would happen. Manly would surely not let that happen. That would be crazy. Even if Cherry Evans had the absolute worst run of form that he's ever had in his career, you would think that they wouldn't let that happen. Critter was incredible for sure, says Scott Wood. JCS Moki says Dom Young trying to get to the Knights before round 12. Oh, I think so. JCS Moki. The Roosters have basically said to Dom Young's management, you're free to go and negotiate with her. They'll be happy to unload him. You look at what the Roosters are doing at the moment. They're getting rid of Dom Young. They're getting rid of Brandon Smith, the Cheese. These are players that they're happy to release straight away. They're clearing up the cap space. Because let's not forget, not only are they bringing DC in, there's every likelihood they're freeing up cap space. See, I reckon they've got the space already for Cherry Evans. I don't know what's been agreed to. I don't know if anything's been agreed to yet. But the likelihood is that Cherry Evans is going to the Chooks next year. We know that. That's the likelihood. What I think they're doing at the moment, though, is they're looking to unload Dom Young. Dom Young is on, what, 900,000? Dom Young's on a monster contract. They've unloaded the Cheese. If they unload Dom Young, and Brandon Smith's on a pretty penny as well, isn't he? So if Souths are willing to take Brandon Smith straight away, pay part of his salary. If the Knights are willing to take Dom Young straight away, pay part of his salary, they've freed up $600,000 or $700,000. I honestly think they're freeing up this money. Joey Manu is going to be coming back. That's what I reckon. Joey Manu will be coming back from French rugby, I think he went to. His commitments to French rugby are questionable at best. I don't think he's got any commitments over there anymore. So Joey Manu, I reckon, is a smoky to be back before the end of the year. And they're freeing up that cap space for him. I don't think these moves to send Dom Young and Brandon Smith on are because of DCE. I really don't. I think that these moves are to release cap money for Joey Manu. I really do. Scott Wood says that's frowned upon when players want to leave, but crickets when the club asks a player to move on. Yeah. Yeah. 100%. It's a, what's the word? It's a little hypocritical. Hypocritical. That's the word. Rocky 11333 DCE is going to the Roosters. Yes, he is indeed. Well, that's the likelihood. That is the likelihood. Imagine if it was for both. That's why they need to clear 2 players from the top 30. Yeah, I don't. The reason I don't think that it would be for both is just because I can't see that they can free up enough money for both. I think the cash for Cherry Evans is probably already there, or the cash for Manu is already there. Well, I guess in that sense, what you're saying is technically correct. Yes. I mean, they're freeing it up for one or the other. They would already have existing money for at least one of them. They're freeing it up for the second one. It could be Manu that they're freeing up for. It could be DCE that. Yes, technically correct. Technically, we're both correct. It's just a matter of which player these players are getting moved on for. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if both end up at the Roosters. Joey Manu this year, DCE next year. I guess all the fun's going to be, who do the Bears manage to wrangle? We saw it with the Dolphins. It's very, very hard to get players over. Who's going to want to go over to Perth and play? Flo Lacey, ahoy. Flo Lacey says, up the mighty Sharks. They had a great first half, didn't they? Onyx 76, who do you think is going to win? Well, I hope the Sharks. I really do hope the Sharkies get the win. All right, I'm going to have a quick break, and then we'll be back for kickoff in the second half here on the Wasted World of Sports. Be right back.
Welcome to the wasted world of sports, where the game's just a backdrop for drunken retorts. Rugby league or union, it's all fair play, but it's the banter that steals the show. Hey, 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 hey. Ahoy, we're here to make some noise. It's all about the laughs, the fun, and the choice. Join us in our world where the banter is prime. Wasted world of sports, we're having a good time. Scrums and tries, they're all well and good, but we're here for the jokes and 10 pence less from the kickoff.
40 minutes left to play in this one. Can the Sharks hold on 14-0 going into the halftime break? Sam says Luke Brooks moved to the Manly Sea Eagles and is not doing so well like what happened at the Tigers. I think Brooks has been all right. I think Brooks has been okay. He's been a decent pickup for them. Compliments DCE quite well. Yes, he's had some moments, hasn't he? But they all have. Every player has their moments. Joseph says Kale Ero to score Manly's first try after the break. Kale Ero plays for the Sharks. Joseph, I think you mean Sharks first try. Sam says Tommy Turbo makes the Sea Eagles do well. Yes, he does. There's an interesting stat actually about Manly's win percentage with or without Tommy Turbo. And it's quite clear, isn't it? If Tommy Turbo's not in the team, you pretty much always bet the opposition. Even if it doesn't pay off, chances are it will. Scott Wood said he eventually got to play finals footy. Yeah, I really do think Brooksy's a good pickup for Manly. JCS Moki says, I think DCE will play 2 years. When Sam Walker comes back from his ACL, then Sam Walker will take over the 7. 100%, that'll be the plan. I mean, Sammy Walker, whether you love him or hate him, Cherry Evans, I mean, what a teacher, hey? What a teacher to learn off of for Sam Walker, who has still obviously got a lot of learning to do. I mean, Sam Walker's what? Let's find out. Unless somebody knows off the top of their head, I'll look it up. Sam Walker, age 22. Oh, Sam Walker's 22. They say that halfbacks don't really come into the peak of their form until around 26. He's got 4 years to develop. 2 years playing backup or playing alongside in the 6 jersey, because I've heard that they're looking to move on Sandon Smith as well, by the way. Roosters are looking to move on Sandon Smith as well. So that's a third player they're looking to move on to open up some cap space. 2 years of Sam Walker playing 6 alongside DCE to learn more about the halfback role. DCE moves on. Sam Walker's 24, 25, coming into the peak of his powers. Perfect for the Roosters. That is a perfect production line. I mean, that's smart. I'll tell you what was stupid. What was stupid was the Roosters signing Chad Townsend. That was stupid. That made no sense. That made no sense. Second half about to get underway. Manly, they've got some work to do here in the second 40. And with the kickoff, the Sharks let it bounce. It pops up at the back for Kennedy. And he hands it on to Kafusi. And the Sharks will start this 15 out from their own line. Dean 180 says, what's your full-time score prediction? Well, from what we've seen so far this weekend, apart from the Melbourne Storm game, it could be Manly like 26 points to 14. Anything could happen this weekend. Up to halfway already, the Sharks. They've started this second half well. Billy Burns dummies and goes into contact. Fifth and last, incoming as Hamlin Uele with the settler. They're 35 out from the Manly line. What an opening set of 6. Trindle will put the ball high. This will be contestable. Mulatalo's there. It's been lost forward by Saab. Ero picks it up. And Ero's taken 10 meters out from the line. Good Lord. Are we going to see another 50-plus scoreline here? Sharks start the second half well. Manly still flat. Hines, dummies, takes the line on. Can't get through. Hines is brought down. 10 out from the line. And Ben Trbojevic with some shoving. Oh, he's going to give away a penalty here, Ben Trbojevic. Well, that's just silliness. Referee blows the whistle. It's just a bit of push and shove. Some tempers flaring. Some emotions getting out of hand there from Ben Trbojevic. I mean, it shouldn't be a penalty, but he's risking it. Getting involved there in some off-the-ball play. Here come the Sharks now. Burns out the back for Trindle. Numbers to the left. Trindle with the double pump. It's here for Ero. Ero back inside. And it's still on. Reaching out. Billy Burns is close. He's a meter short. They're over on this left edge now, a meter out. Trindle into midfield. And Calhoun with the settler in front of the post. 10 meters out. Sharks. Crash ball for Kafusi. And Kafusi is half a meter out. That's a nice strong carry. Crash ball for Hamlin Uele. He leaves it behind and DCE comes away with it. Big mistake, that one there for the Sharks. They've let them off the hook. Garrick carries it out to the 20. Geez, the Sharks could have almost put the game to bed there, to be honest. That's a big mistake. Tommy Hazelton. Dizzy the Egg Hazelton. An AC injury. So there you go. He did hurt himself. He did hurt himself. Dizzy the Egg Hazelton. AC injury. Down the short side goes Brooks. He's up over halfway here on play 4. Tommy Turbo hands it off inside to Nathan Brown. Fifth and last now for Manly. 40 out from the line. Cherry Evans puts it high. Down midfield. Contestable kick. And it's been taken well at the back there by the Sharks. Who was there? Will Kennedy. Matty Suddix, who scored the tries so far. 2 to the Sharks. Obviously none to Manly. Try scorers have been... I've drawn a blank. Mulatalo. Mulatalo scored the first one. And the second try was Fanua Blake. Yeah, there we go. Mulatalo and Fanua Blake as the Sharks now up over halfway. Trindle out the back for Kennedy. Kennedy fires it into midfield for Hamlin Uele, who has to surrender in the tackle for fear of an obstruction penalty. Fifth and last. Down the short side, Trindle puts it high. And Tommy Turbo takes it. Brings it out to the 20. Manly back in possession. 14 points to 0. The Sharks. Saab. Hasn't really got any open space so far tonight. Jason Saab. Garrick onto Hopewade. 30 out from their own line here, Manly. And, a spinneroonie there from Lehigh Hopewade to get himself back on his feet. Brooks loving the short side at the moment. Looks to offload. Jesse Ramian's been held off the ball here. And it's a penalty now to the Sharks. Brooks with a loose offload. Ramian was then held back. And a gift penalty here for the Sharkies. Brooks, well, a couple of silly plays in one there. The offload that wasn't on. And then to hold Ramian back from collecting the loose ball. Sharks find touch 30 meters out. Hines to Hamlin Uele. Holds onto the ball this time. And the Sharkies go on the attack again here. 20 meters out. What can they come up with? Can they extend this lead? Hines across field. Hands it off inside for Nickera. Nickera running 2 sideways is cleaned up there by Nathan Brown. 25 out. 25 out. Tackle 3. Jesse Colhoun. 15 from the line. Hines in midfield, out the back for Trindle, who spills it and slips, and holy moly, Olakau'atu picks it up, puts the kick in for Saab. Saab tries to get the secondary boot to it. Garrick scoops it up, back in field for Saab. Saab's going to go in under the posts. Jason Saab offloads, and he offloads for Kohler. Manly, with the counter-attack, have scored out of absolutely nowhere. Well, I thought Jason Saab would have had the pace himself. He's offloaded. He's played the team game and given it off to Coca-Cola. And, well, Manly, a try from literally nothing. Trindle slips, spills the ball. Olakau'atu scoops it up. Puts the kick in. Saab doesn't get hold of it. It's off the knee. Garrick does well to keep it alive. And then Jason Saab finally sees some open space. And he offloads for Kohler. And Manly are back. Well, is that the little piece of luck? Let's be honest, that was luck. Is that the piece of luck that turns this game Manly's way? The comeback is on. The weekend of comebacks back on track. 14 points to 4. Kick to come. Coca-Cola with the try. Jason Saab finally in some open space. Almost unstoppable at that point. Ruben Garrick from right in front. Simplest of conversions. Over it goes. And it is 14 points to 6 and game back on. Oh, boy. Now, that is the sort of thing, that's the sort of mistake, the sort of counterattack that completely swings momentum in games. Manly could route this from here if the Sharks aren't careful. Steve, ahoy, Steve. Steve says they better not pick Turbo for New South Wales. He's playing injured. I love Tommy Turbo when he's fully fit and firing, but I absolutely agree, Steve. I can't imagine a scenario where Tommy Turbo makes his way into the squad this season. I really can't. Braden Trindle has been called off for a HIA. Well, this is huge now. This is massive. The Sharks have leaked a try against the run of play, and now their playmaker is off for a HIA. Braden Trindle forced from the field by the independent doctor. The Sharks have lost their playmaker. Oh, this is massive now. Manly. This is a big 10 minutes with Trindle off for the HIA. The Sharks will have no attack with Trindle off the field. Manly will be back into this in a big way. Brown from the back fence. Oh, he loves to bring the ball back from the kickoff. Big Nathan Brown. And he wants to go. Mulatalo's happy to have words with him as well. Of course he is. Out to the 20. Manly have got all the momentum now. The Sharks are down a playmaker. 14 points to 6. The weekend of comebacks apart from the Storm game. Olakau'atu. Manly seem to have a new lease of life. Brown with a second hit up. Takes it up to halfway. 5th and last. They are well and truly not done. Cherry Evans puts it high. And Kennedy takes it under no pressure at the back. Will Kennedy. Stone Street. They're up quickly on him. He looks to offload. Well, they've lost the ball there. Jeez, they got away with that. I'm pretty sure Stone Street just lost the ball there. And they got away with that, the Shark. Nobody saw that. Kennedy takes it out to the 40. Manly, the momentum. They've got it all at the moment. Colquhoun up to halfway. Takes on Simpkin. Simpkin stands his ground, gets some help in the tackle. 5th and last. Hines will take over the kick-in now. Puts it deep. And Hopewade takes it inside his own 10. A wall of Sharks defenders there to greet him. And Manly start this set on the 20. Okay, so Trindle, category 2. He's got 15 minutes to prove his well-being. So there you go. Braden Trindle should be back. There's Bullymore now on halfway. Play 4. Manly starting to win the territory in possession. Brooks inside to Tommy Turbo. Tommy Turbo well wrapped up. 5th and last. 45 out from the line. Cherry Evans puts it high into the corner. Mulatalo's under it. No pressure on the kick chase. Mulatalo now brings it back. Saab. He spins away from him. And they start the set 20 out here, the Sharks. Atkinson's on the... Oh, Atkinson's on the field. Okay. So Dan Atkinson's come on for Trindle. That's okay. That's all right. I didn't realize Atkinson was on the bench. So there you go. That's okay then for the Sharks. They've still got 2 playmakers out there. Well, 1.5. 1.5 anyway. Hamlin Uele up to halfway. 5th and last. Atkinson with the kick. Puts it high down the middle of the field. Tommy Turbo's under it. Takes it 10 out from his own line. Tommy Turbo, they're up quickly on him, and they've kept him very quiet tonight. Tommy T. Saab, 25 out. Manly, though, a try against the run of play. Have got themselves back into this game, well back into this game. The weekend of comebacks. Is it set to continue? They get a penalty here, Manly. Huge. Massive penalty. And a nice piggyback upfield. The Sharks are self-destructing. Cherry Evans finds touch. 35 out from the line. Here they come. The home side. Pressure all on the Sharks now. Takiaho. 30 out from the line on play one. Here they come, the Sea Eagles. Brooks at first receiver. Hands it off inside for Waddell. Waddell's hit by a brick wall there. Hamlin Uele with Blake Brayley. Massive defense. Brooks shows it inside, takes the line on. He's wrapped up. 6 more tackles here for Manly. A set restart. Cherry Evans, grubber kicks in behind the line on play one, and it's battered dead. Kale Ero there to save the day. A goal line restart. Geez, I don't know about that, DCE. Tackle one, set restart. Putting the grubber in. DCE not having his best game, is he? Sharks go deep with the restart. Taken on halfway. And Corey Waddell brings it back. 30 out from the line in midfield. Cherry Evans. On it goes to Takiaho. 25 out. He's had his pants pulled down. I'm glad he's wearing protection. Really didn't need to see his ass. Cherry Evans out the back for Brooks. Ola Kawatu, short ball for Garrick. Garrick just needed the flick pass out to an unmarked Saab, but he went infield for Tommy Turbo. Geez, Saab was unmarked. The flick pass out the back was the option, but it's still on here for Manly. Kohler cuts back infield. Kohler looking for a double. Reaches out and scores. Tolu Kohler gets a double. And the Sharks are absolutely shot to pieces here. The Sharks are letting this slip in a big way. And literally, this game turned on a slip. It was Braden Trindle slipping and losing the ball that led to Manly's breakout try that swung the momentum in this game. So they have literally let this slip. Kohler with a double. 14 points to 10, the kick to come. How crucial will that 2-pointer be? The penalty goal that Nico kicked. How critical will that be at the end of this game? Manly back in this in a big way. The game of two halves. The weekend of two halves, apart from the Melbourne Storm game. Coca-Cola with a double. Fights his way through 1, 2, 3 Sharks defenders. And dives over the line. Manly have got all the momentum here. The Sharks literally slipped up here. Literally. Conversion successful. It's 14 points to 12. Plenty of time left in this one. So much time left in this game. Holy hell, it's game on. $33 Dan asks, cool name, by the way. My name's Dan as well. Host, who do you think will win at this stage? Oh, geez, Manly are finishing strong. I think Manly, if the Sharks aren't careful, Manly will run away with this by 13 plus. There's still 25 minutes left. Odd Poppet, ahoy, mate. And now they break out immediately. Brooks in space. He's got support from Tommy Turbo. He's got support from Kohler. Kohler drops it. Oh, Kohler was in for a hat trick. Manly from the kickoff break out and should have had the lead right there. Brooks breaks through Hines. And Coca-Cola, the hat trick goes begging. Sharks off the hook. Jake Ponchi, ahoy mate. Scrum down here for the Sharks. They've got to get some possession. They've got to get some of the control of this game back. Nico Hines is having a nightmare on defense. Ever since Trindle left the field, Hines is feeling the pressure. Colhoun to the 40. Atkinson inside to Eero. Eero, they're up quickly on him. Oh, the Manly have been reading all night long the Sharks' backline plays. Benoa Blake carries it inside the 30. Looks to offload. Does. It's very scrappy, though. Hines has it. Heads across field. Nickera gets on the outside. Nickera dummies. Carries inside the 20. Fifth and last here for the Sharks. Hines with the crossfield kick. Contestable ball. Batted back by the Sharks. It's loose. Kennedy picks it up. And Will Kennedy scores. Oh, referee says no try. Confirming a knock on. Let's have a look. Mulatalo. Well, Mulatalo batted this ball back, surely. Yes, he's batted it back. And then it's been left to bounce. Well, that's clearly gone backwards from Mulatalo. Oh. Okay. It does travel forward. That side-on view does give it away. It's a knock-on. Manly off the hook. "23 minutes to play. Manly will have the ball. 10 out from their own line. Play the ball. They survived a little scare there. Ruben Garrick with the first carry. 23 minutes to play. 2 points the difference. What's the chances of golden point? The Sharks, I think it would have broken the backs there if they got that try. Knock on was the correct call. Through the hands now. Olakau'atu. A big carry from Olakau'atu. Oh, he's a massive unit. Slow play the ball. Jakey Trbojevic up to halfway. Fifth and last. Jerry Evans puts it high into the corner. Mulatalo backs up, or Kennedy rather. Kennedy backs up. Mulatalo races back to support him as Trindle gets ready to come back on the field. Stone Street, very flat-footed here from the Sharks. They had a 14 points to 0 lead. They've seen it slip. And they're under the pump now. Mulatalo plays quickly. Brayley finds some space. And he's got support there from Mulatalo, who goes again. Tackled on halfway here. On play 4. Sharks looking to turn this around. Colhoun to Hines. Out the back for Kennedy. Kennedy takes the line on. Fifth and last, they stay on the short side for Hines to put it high. The Sharks chase through. No contest on the ball. And Tommy Turbo returns it just outside the 20. Manly back in possession. The Sharks, they need Trindle back on the field to steer the ship. Nico is not a game manager. He is not. Jake Trbojevic, inside ball for Tommy, and he's chopped down. Oh, potential try-saving tackle there. Tavanga goes quickly. Space here for Manly. Fifth and last, 40 out from the Sharks line. Cherry Evans with the kick, puts it high, contestable ball, pressure. Kennedy loses it. 6 more tackles for Manly. Here comes the lead. 10 metres out, full set of 6. Manly ball. Cherry Evans angles back to the short side. Catches some lazy defenders. And intercepted by Caolero. But he's knocked the ball on. Penalty for offside as well. Well, this is a gift 2-pointer right out in front. We're about to be locked up with 20 minutes to play. They take the 2 surely here, Manly. A penalty for Manly right out in front. Sharks offside. They surely take the 2. We're about to be locked up at 14-all. I can't imagine a scenario where Manly don't lock this ball game up. And this weekend, oh, they are as well. Garrick steps up. It's a simple kick from right in front. We're about to be all locked up at 14-all with 20 minutes to play. Good Lord, I need another drink. Be right back. Oh boy, the weekend of comebacks continues. We went off kilter a little bit there with the Melbourne Storm game, but we're back on track. The Sharks up 14 points to 0. And Manly have fought back 14. Oh, Fatty! It's Fatty Vorton. Fatty Vorton enjoying the game. Cherry Evans takes the kickoff. 14 points all, 20 minutes to play. This one's going down to the wire once again. 2 converted tries apiece and a penalty goal apiece for 14 all. Slow set of 6 this one for Manly. Out to their own 40 now. Tommy Turbo at first receiver. Up over halfway here on the 5th and last. It's been all Manly in the second half. Cherry Evans kicks long, kicks high. Kennedy backs up, lets it bounce, and lets it bounce dead for a 7-tackle set. Risky from Kennedy, but it's a risk that's paid off. That was extremely risky to let that one bounce. They're up on Stone Street quickly. Looks to the referee for a penalty. Nothing doing. Hero slips into contact. 30 out from the line. Or from their own line, that is. Mulatalo. They're up quick here, Manly. Oh, they're racing up. Risking a penalty here for offside, you would think. Cronulla Blake has cut out and Atkinson spills it, does he? No, he's picked it up well on the ankles. Tackle 4. Now, McInnes. On to Nickera. 5th and last. 40 metres out from the line. Oh, that's play 4, sorry. Atkinson to Cronulla Blake. Angles back in. Just short of halfway. 5th and last. Hines puts it high on halfway. They had a 7-tackle set there, the Sharks. They couldn't even make it to halfway. That's incredible. Manly's defense has amped up. The Sharks are running out of steam. A 7-tackle set they had. And they couldn't even get to the halfway line properly. They are completely gassed here, the Sharks. They are out of steam. Manly finishing strong. Out to their own 40 now on play 3. Now, beyond halfway. Garrick loses it. Oh, that's a huge mistake. Big mistake, Ruben Garrick. Manly were on the front foot, finishing the stronger of the two teams. And that is a big mistake on halfway. The Sharks are absolutely gassed here. There's nothing left in the tank. But they could dig deep for one big set of 6. Starting on the halfway line. Trindle feeds it. Ramian, down the right edge he goes. 14 apiece, 15 to play. McInnes, 40 out from the line. Is it too early to be thinking drop goal? In a tight game? Maybe so, but then we saw it work out well for the Warriors, didn't we? The Warriors went early and then expected for a drop goal. Do the Sharks do the same? 20 out from the line in midfield. Tackle 4. Hines to Kennedy. Out to Ramian and jamming in quickly on him, but Ramian gets free. Ramian inside the 20 is now held up 15 meters out. 5th and last. Hines heading across field. Grubber's in behind the line, and it's taken by Garrick. Garrick loses it, and it's a try for Trindle. Ruben Garrick has not grounded the ball. He's lost it forward in the end goal, and Braden Trindle scores. Manly have literally just thrown this away. There's a lot to look at here, as they say. But at the moment, Ruben Garrick has spilt his beans in the end goal, and Braden Trindle has picked up the pieces for a try. Try's been awarded. They're going to have a look. The players got into it in behind the goal line. Try's been awarded, but let's have a look. Did Garrick ground the ball? Did Garrick go dead? There's a lot to look at. He picks the ball up. His first thought is to get back into the field of play. He loses it. Billy Burns' foot is on the line and it goes on his back. This will be no try. This will be no try. Ruben Garrick loses it, but Billy Burns, it hits his back. Billy Burns' foot is on the dead ball line when it hits his back. Oh. No, it doesn't. It bounces above Billy Burns' shoulder, and this should be a try. Braden Trindle, try confirmed. It bounced up over Billy Burns' shoulder, and Braden Trindle with the try. 18 points to 14, kick to come from right in front. Ruben Garrick with a Mother's Day present for the Sharks. Jake, Wasted Water Sports, live on YouTube, live on TikTok, live on Facebook, live on Twitch. We do the NRL, we do Super Rugby, we do some pro wrestling, we do Formula One, we do IPL cricket. Alternative commentary. As Hines puts it over, 20 points to 14. The Sharks reopen that 6-point lead. Thank you, Ruben Garrick. Braden Trindle back on the field after his spell for the HIA. Evan Bradley, ahoy mate. 80 minutes regulation time. If the scores are tied, at full time, they go to Golden Point to try and decide a winner. If the scores are still tied after 10 minutes each way, or 10 minutes extra time, 5-minute halves, then it's deemed a draw. 20 points to 14. Sharks lead, 13 minutes to play. Sharks ball. Fanua Blake plays it, 20 out. Kade Avati. Garrick and Fanua Blake not performing on my fantasy. Oh, God, tell me about it, Kade. They're both on my teams as well, Garrick and Fanua Blake. Ruben Garrick's my captain as well, for goodness sake. This has not been a captain's knock from Ruben Garrick. Fifth and last for the Sharks. Trindle on halfway. Puts it high. Tommy Turbo's under it. Spins away from Mulatalo, but he's wrapped up by Ero. Scott Wood says, how good is Oscar Piastri doing in Formula One? Outstanding. I'm loving the F1 this year. And I'm loving streaming the Formula One this year. Covering the Formula One has been fantastic. I honestly didn't know how Formula One would work in this format, like what we do here for the rugby, for the footy. But it's been a lot of fun covering all the action live on the Formula One. Fifth and last here for Manly, Cherry Evans. From just his own side of halfway, kicks down. On the bounce, it sits up for Kennedy, and Kennedy returns it to the 30-metre line. 10 minutes to play. Now the Sharks will surely be thinking about a drop goal if they get in range. Hero heads across field, wrapped up by Brooks and Ben Trbojevic. And what makes it even... risky offload, but Brayley's now in space. Inside ball for Stone Street. Stone Street chopped down. A try-saving tackle there from Garrick. Front foot ball now for Hines. Grubbers in behind the line. Hines and Trindle chasing. Garrick scoops it up, and Garrick is tackled half a metre out from his own try line. Great scrambling there from Manly. Hopewade goes straight through. Hopewade gets up and goes again. He's 20 metres out. And a penalty for a flop. For Noah Blake, giving away more fantasy points, the great big goof. All right, calm down. It's just a game. Matty Colkin says the Aussie guy won the UFC today. Yeah, very nice. We've done some UFC as well in the commentary streams. Manly fine touch, 35 out from their own line. 10 to play. 6 points the difference. Scotty Wood, absolutely. Come hang out for the Formula One. It's obviously on at really weird times for us here in Australia. Most of the time. Simpkin in midfield. Hands it on to a Jakey boy. 40 out from the line here on play 3. They stay left for Brooks to Tommy T. Cut out pass for Hopewade. Angles back in field. That's tackle 4. Brooks at first receiver to Tavunga. Cherry Evans in midfield. Pass out the back of Olakauatu. Reaches back well for it. Big holy moly. Had the arms free, but nobody to offload to. Fifth and last. 20 out. Cherry Evans. High ball. Angled back in field. Tommy Turbo loses it. Will Kennedy loses it. But it's a knock-on first against the Sharks. A knock-on first by Will Kennedy. They're going to challenge it, but this is a challenge out of pure hope. This is a challenge of pure hope. 8 minutes to play. Manly are about to get a repeat set. Oh, it's been knocked on by Tommy Turbo. Tommy Turbo knocks it on first. A successful challenge by the Sharks. What a huge moment in the game that is. That is a monster captain's challenge, and it's paid off. Manly were about to go on the attack for a full set of 6, 10 metres out. The Sharks instead have the ball, but look at this Manly defence. Stone Street. Down the right edge, he's wrapped up well. The Sharks, 8 minutes to play. That is a long time. We have seen the Sharks cough up victories at the death. We saw it against the Raiders. Kofusi brings it out to the 30. Matty Colkin's asking when the next Formula One race is. I think, I believe it would be next weekend. As Fanua Blake plays it, fifth and last. Trindle puts a deep kick taken on the full by Tommy T, and he brings it back to the 20. Manly, time is running out. Sunday, the 18th of May, it says here. And Manly have spilt it on tackle 1. Yeah, so next weekend, Matty. Next weekend. Manly have dropped it on play 1, and the Sharks now 20 metres out. 7 minutes to play. They surely set up for a 1-pointer. But if they miss, it's a 7-tackle set. That might be risky as well. In these conditions, they're too close. They're too close. They're 2 metres out from the line. Manly will be up very quickly. Hines steps. Through the hands they go. Burns with the grubber kick in. It sets up for Mulatalo. And Ronaldo Mulatalo scores the match winner. Oh, forget about a drop goal. Mulatalo gets a double. And the Sharks have won. Congratulations to everybody like myself that switched the tip right before kickoff and went with the Sharkies. Tommy Turbo raced up on Nico Hines. And beautiful play from Nico to realize the fullback is gone. It was Tommy Turbo chasing me down. Fullback's out of the line. I just have to sidestep here and get the ball through into the in-goal. Passed it off to Billy Burns. Put the grubber kick through. And Ronaldo Mulatalo scoops it up for a double. The Sharks have surely won the game now. 24-14. Kick to come from right beside the post. Well, Mulatalo, that's his one good game of the year. And of course, I didn't have him in my multi for it. Why would I? Why would I do something as silly as picking try scorers? Literally, look at that. Not a single tick off the multi tonight. Insanity. Pure insanity. Well, the Sharks, they are surely home now. Nico Hines from just beside the post puts it through. 26 points to 14. The Sharkies. Oh boy, I am so glad that I changed that tip. Words cannot describe how glad I am that I changed that tip right before kickoff. Bloody hell. How about that? Cronulla Sharks. Manly goes short with the restart. Tapped back by Saab and it bounces into touch. The Sharks will have the ball back. Five minutes to play. 26-14. What a big performance from the Sharks. I know that Manly were pretty cack, but this was a big performance from the Sharks. Joe Charles says, nice, nice. Go Sharks. I wanted to wear my Cronulla Sharks coloured bandana tonight, but you know what happened? The Cronulla Sharks blue. I really wanted to wear my Sharks coloured bandana. The Sharks blue is just a little too similar to green, so there was a little bit of a problem. I had to nix the Sharks coloured bandana right before kickoff because it would have been interesting. I would have had to do the stream with half a head. Ten meters out from the line again. Here come the Sharks for more points. Panoa Blake. Back to Hines. Tapped on for Ero. Ero in and away from DCE. And Kale Ero scores. Kale scores more points for the Sharks. Kale try time. 30 points to 14. The Sharks have ended up with a comprehensive victory here. There is somebody in the chat that had Kale in their try scorer sheet. Gaz Johnson says, now I've just got to get ready for our Challenge Cup semi-final. Let's have it warranted. Oh, what's this, Gaz? Is this something that I should be covering? Challenge Cup finals time. I feel like that's something I should be covering. This is the last stream of the weekend. My time is free. I feel like there's more sports out there I should be doing. 30 points to 14. Kick to come. KL with the try. Billy Burns involved again. He's been immense at the back end of this game. And, the Manly cheerleaders were ready to cheer there. I couldn't help but notice. Hines from the sideline to put an exclamation. Oh, well, that's a shocker. Good Lord, that's a horrible kick. So never mind. I was about to say, obviously, Hines to stamp an exclamation mark on this performance, but yeah, never mind. Rocky11333 says Sharks all day. Awesome. Lewis Bright is asking if Will Kennedy played well. Oh, I would say that Will Kennedy played well. He had a little bit of a mixed bag in the opening half, but overall, it was a solid performance. Drape Mongreen says Championship Rugby Under-20s tomorrow morning. New Zealand versus South Africa. 2 minutes to play. The Manly fans are storming for the exit. 30 points to 14. The Sharks are up. Colhoun brings it outside the 20. NRL videos. Ahoy, mate. Who's my grand final tip? Well, Melbourne Storm. I've been on the Melbourne Storm for 2025 since the end of last year's grand final. Nothing has changed my mind about that. Now, who do they play against? Well, your guess is as good as mine. I'm still not writing off the Panthers. I am still not prepared to write off a Storm Panthers rematch. You can write off the Panthers at your own peril. Well, here come the Sharks again. Hamlin Uele with the grubber kick through. He collects it on the bounce. Hamlin Uele, half a meter out. Hines throws the huge cutout pass for Mulatalo. Mulatalo's caught with it. 2 meters out, it's called forward. He's called a forward pass. 1 minute left to play. 30 points to 14. Oh, after this, I've got to record my video selecting my New South Wales State of Origin team. Should I put a bunch of Queenslanders in the team like UFC did? Sorry, UFC. You know I love you, mate. Manly, 10 out from their own line. 30 seconds to play. 30 points to 14. Jeez, Manly. On paper, they should be. Am I right in saying on paper, Manly should be a premiership threat? Manly are surely in a premiership window. They just can't put it together. Brooks on to Kohler. Kohler's been the only standout really for Manly today. Full time, and the Sharks have won 30 points to 14. The Sharks, what a performance. A little bit of a slip up, as I said. Literally a slip up when Braden Trindle slipped and fell on his face and got called off for HIA. The game swung on its head. As soon as Trindle returned, it was a completely different ball game again, wasn't it? So, Braden Trindle shows how valuable he is to this Sharks team. When he left the field, it was all Manly. When he came back, it was all Sharks. Crazy weekend comes to an end. Boy, we've seen some good games. All right, I'm going to have a quick break, and I'll be right back. And if there's any questions, now is the time to ask them, because all the footy's over, all the action's done. I'm happy to chat about anything. I'm even happy to chat about Origin, if you so decide. I still think it's too early, but I'll more than happily do it. Quick break. Be right back after this to wrap up all the action here on round 10. £30 to 14. The Sharks. Holy hell. I'm so glad that I changed my tip right before kickoff. That will surely be one that I catch up some points on. And Lord knows I need to catch up on some points. Rocky 11333, you had Ronaldo first try scorer and anytime try scorer Kaeliro. Hashtag yes. NRL video says, what a weekend of footy. 100%. It really has been a great weekend. It's been a tough one for the tips. Been a very tough one for the multis. 2 games this weekend. We nailed 3 of the 4 legs. And it's easy to reflect and... Oh, hey, Alana. All right, I'll stop being creepy. It's easy to say, well, if the 4 legs aren't working out, just drop it to 3. But you know what would happen? We would drop it to a 3rd leg, and it'd be the opposite. It'd be the opposite one that I dropped that scores the try. UFC, you got no tips right this weekend. Wow. 0. 0. Wait a minute. In order to get 0, are you seriously telling us that you tipped the Tigers to defeat the Storm in Melbourne, coming off a loss? You can't possibly have got 0. Surely even the most diehard Tigers supporter didn't tip the Tigers in Melbourne, with Melbourne coming off a loss. Wow, you tipped the Tigers to beat Melbourne in Melbourne with Melbourne coming off a loss. That was brave. I mean, look, you would have looked like a bloody genius had it paid off. I thought the Tigers would be a lot better than bloody 604 to 0 or whatever it was, but... Rizza says, have to admit it, that last Cola try was ultimate. Coca-Cola, he was Manly's best player tonight, hands down. Coca-Cola, what a player. They've got to get him involved more, right? Surely. Get him involved more in the action. He was bumping off defenders at will, breaking tackles at will. Get that man more ball. He was immense tonight. Definitely the Sea Eagles' best. So the Sharks now move up to 5th on the table, leapfrogging the Cowboys. Should we do once again? I'm going to ask this again. I asked this yesterday. Let me ask it again. Should we do another poll? We've had an entire weekend without Michelle. Is it should we have a little bit of a laugh and do a poll and say more weekends without Michelle? Yes or no? Let us know. Just for shits and gigs. I mean, obviously, regardless of the result, he'll be back. I just want to know what the results are. Rizza wants to know what the predictions are for next weekend's games. Oh, jeez. Wants me to get in nice and early. Talk about getting in early. Wow. Okay. Well, we don't even know what the team lineups are going to be yet. But since you've asked me, completely off the cuff, I mean, we have no idea what the teams are going to be. No idea what the lineups are. Let's say, geez. We'll put it this way. Every time that I tip the Eels, they lose. The Knights. I would be tempted to go for the Eels again, but obviously I've got quite a few days to figure out that. Every time I tip the Eels, they lose, so I don't know if I can go for the Eels. Bulldogs Roosters is going to be a cracker. You can't win all the time, so I'd be tempted to go Roosters in that one. Dolphins Warriors, same again. Suncorp Stadium. Dolphins are a different beast at Suncorp. I might be swaying towards the Dolphin in that one. Cowboys Manly. Well, the Cowboys got the draw with the Panthers this week, and Manly were dire tonight, weren't they? Manly are going in at $1.79 favourites, but I think the Cowboys might get the win at home there. Sharks Storm. No question. Broncos Dragons at Suncorp. Broncos. Raiders Titans. Ooh. Jeez, that's a toughie. That's a tough one. Two shithouse teams. Maybe go the Titans in that one. Tigers Rabbitohs. I think the Tigers will bounce back, but never underestimate a Wayne Bennett coach team. Tigers Rabbitohs could be a good one. Tigers. But anyway, like I said, it's way too early. We don't even know what the team sheets are going to be. We don't know what the lineups are, so it's way too early to even try and predict that. NRL videos, you've got the Bulldogs as your premiership winner. Still the Storm for me. As I said a few times during the stream, after last year's grand final, and I mean immediately after last year's grand final, I said Melbourne Storm's premiership to lose in 2025. Absolutely nothing has happened to change my mind. I think it's Melbourne's premiership to lose. Now, whoever they come up against and whoever they beat in the grand final, who knows? I'm not ruling out the Panthers just yet. But it could very well be the Bulldogs. It could very well be the Warriors. The Warriors, for the first time in a long time, are showing some absolute grit and determination and finding ways to win. But I'm going to put my bollocks on the chopping block and say it will be the Melbourne Storm versus somebody. Odd Poppet says Storm will take the cup this year, I reckon, as well. Cheers, mate. NRL videos says Panthers just drew with the Cowboys. I'm shutting the door on the Panthers. Been a genuine threat. Hey, do that at your own peril, my friend. Rizar says realistically expecting Bulldogs versus Storm in the finals, but hoping it's Raiders versus the Wars. It won't be the Raiders. The Raiders won't even make the 8. Celtics fan until Nick's lost. Doggies looking dangerous. Yes, they are. Too much UFC. Too much. He's very sensitive to that sort of thing, UFC, so go a little easy on her, huh? Good man. I understand your sense of humor, so. But, yeah. Let's go easy on her, huh? Doggy's looking dangerous, yes. Stephen Crichton, absolutely love. Stephen Crichton, I mean, hands down. You want to talk about origin, Stephen Crichton's the first name on the team sheet. Even if Sebastian Chris wasn't a Kiwi, UFC, Stephen Crichton is the starting number 4. Forget about Sebastian Chris. Even though he can't play origin, he wouldn't make it anyway. By the way, for those who are new to the channel, I'm very, very harsh on the Raiders. They're my team that I love to poke at. UFC OnlyFans says you can't tell me there are 4 more quality centers in the comp than Seb Chris. Well, Stephen Crichton for one, and again, Sebastian Chris is a Kiwi. He can't play origin. But even if he could, he is not getting the nod over Stephen Crichton. Rizza says, as long as you don't poke at the Waz. No, not at all. Man, I'll tell you what. When the Waratahs, I nearly said. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's getting late in the night, you know. It's getting late in the weekend. When the Warriors came into the comp, they immediately became my second team. Now, admittedly, I gave up on them. Sharks are my first team. Warriors came into the comp. My love for the All Blacks in rugby union, the Chiefs and the Crusaders. So I immediately jumped on with the Kiwi team when they entered the comp back whenever it was, 96 or something, wasn't it? It was a while ago. They immediately became my second team. I will always have a level of respect for them. But, I mean, let's be honest, apart from a couple of seasons here and there, they've been absolutely dire, haven't they? And it looks like this year they might be putting it together. And I'm more than happy to see it. Bring it on, I say. Scott Wood says Critter's a walk-up start. Yeah, 100%. USC just loves to go into support for his Canberra Raiders, even if they're not eligible for Origin. Yeah, even if they're not eligible for Origin, he goes to bat for his Canberra Raiders. And even if they're Queenslanders from his Canberra Raiders, he still picks them for the Blues. That's how dedicated he is to his team. And hey, mad respect for that. Mad respect for that, honestly. NRL Videos says most competitive comp we've seen in years. Overall, not just talking about the Warriors, but overall. Honestly, you're going to be able to throw a blanket over 5th through to about 13th, I reckon, this season. Oh, maybe not 5th. Maybe like 6th. 5th or 6th, down to about 12th or 13th. I reckon there's only going to be like 4 competition points separating them at the end of the year. It is going to go down to the wire. So when you talk about most competitive comp in years, this goes beyond the Warriors' performances. This is the competition overall. Yeah, I'd pop it. State of Origin is one of the highlights of the season. Queensland versus New South Wales. We tried to get to see myself, the old Panther, and Michelle. We're all Blues. We're all New South Wales. We tried to get some Queenslanders involved on the stream a couple of years back. It didn't end well. Did not end well. Michelle was ready to throw down. Let's put it that way. She got way too emotional about the whole thing, and she was ready to throw down. So we don't get Queenslanders on the stream no more. NRL videos says, can't believe the Origin is this month. Can't wait. Yeah, it is exciting, but it's still too early to pick a team. Injuries, suspensions, anything can happen yet. Too early to be picking teams. But since you all keep dragging me into it, I am going to do a video on YouTube picking my New South Wales team. And I'm going to title it My Way Too Early New South Wales Squad Prediction. And I look forward to all the comments of, it's not too early, it's only a couple of weeks away. Because I'm pretty sure that's how people talk, apparently. But I digress. It is too early. Injuries, suspension, you don't pick the team until it's time to pick the team. Dave, 74AU, says, go Sharkies. 2016 was the year we will never forget. 2016, of course, was the year that got me back into rugby league. I'd gone full-blown rugby union. 2016 was the year that got me back, and it's a shame that the Sharks have done sod all since. But 2016 was pretty memorable. And as I said, it's a shame. I was a rugby union supporter, full-blown, didn't even watch any rugby league. And then I caught on that the Sharks are actually doing well. Oh, yeah, they'll screw it up, I said. They'll screw it up. They'll balls it up somehow. Then they stayed on top. They'll screw it up somehow. They got into the finals. They'll screw it up somehow. I started watching during the finals. I'm so glad that I jumped on for the last part of the year. Scott Wood says Michelle could possibly be my ex. Oh, hey, UFC, what did I just say about let's cool the jets. World. Hang on, I'll try that again. There was a few more O's. World. Sent the GG over there on TikTok. Thank you very much. Oh, okay. That was straight. All right. Wow. Hell, that was good, though. James says, same old sloppy Manly defense. And it was the first half that let them down, wasn't it? First half that really let them down. And they just left too much work to do there in the second half, despite the fight pact. Not looking like a top 8 side. Well, certainly not tonight. Certainly not tonight, Manly. I'm so glad I changed my tip right before kickoff. I was starting to feel bad, you know. The Sharks are my team, so I was starting to feel bad for not supporting them. But still, I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, you've got to be realistic about your own team's chances. I mean, there's supporting your own team, and then there's being stupid, isn't there? I felt like tonight was a little bit stupid, but I'm so glad that I went against my instincts. I mean, do you reckon Manly are just caught up in the whole DCE thing? I mean, Cherry Evans is off to the Chooks next year. So I just wonder if that's in the back of the minds of everyone, all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Because ever since that DCE contract, not contract dispute, but ever since it came out, the Cherry Evans had the press conference and said, yeah, I won't be at Manly next season. They haven't really played well since, have they? In fairness. Interesting. Oh, boy. No, exactly right. DCE hasn't been playing himself as well. Seems like he's ready to go. Yeah. UFC says Fogarty over DCE is such a no-brainer. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. I mean, Cherry Evans, if Cherry Evans wants to play Origin this year, I mean, he's the first name on the sheet. Forget about it. There's absolutely no point debuting Fogarty. Unless there's injuries, there's no point debuting Fogarty in Origin at 31. I'm sorry. He's a good player. I agree. He's got the best kicking game in the NRL. I agree. But you're not debuting a 31-year-old at Origin level unless there's injuries. I'm sorry. DCE has earned the right to say yes or no to that jersey. And you know that if he says yes, he's going to stand up, regardless of his club form. So Mookie says Trindle over Fogarty. Not likely. Let's just put it that way. Not likely. I love my Sharks, but jeez. UFC says, I'm 32. Are you saying I will never debut? I am saying that. I mean, I'm sorry to break it to you, but yeah, I'm sorry to be the one that has to break the news to you, but your time is done, my friend. Barrel 72 Shane says, do you reckon DCE is going to the Roosters? Oh, Barrel Shane, I mean, it's basically confirmed. It's basically confirmed. The Roosters are clearing out salary cap funds. Dominic Young's being moved on. The Cheese is being moved on. Sandon Smith is being moved on. They are clearing out salary cap space for Cherry Evans and the return of Joey Manu. Joey Manu will be back playing for the Roosters before season's end, guaranteed. He is looking to get out of his French rugby contract. He'll be coming back to the NRL. They are clearing out these players to make room for Joey Manu. And then next year, DCE is as good as done. He'll have like a 2-year contract. Sam Walker will come back from his injury. He will have 2 years learning under the learning tree of DCE. And then he'll take over as the full-time halfback. Sam Walker's only 22. They say that a halfback doesn't get into the peak of their powers until around 26, 27 years of age. So Sam Walker, 2 years under DCE. He'll be 24 when he takes over the reins, and he will just be full of just knowledge. And Sam Walker will be one of the primary halfbacks in the NRL at 24 years of age when he takes over. So the future's looking very, very bright for the Chooks. Matty Sunnix says, I said it, 13 plus. Dom Young's back to Newcastle, Matty Colkin. it's pretty much a done deal. Dominic Young is returning to Newcastle. The question is, do Newcastle take him back straight away? Or are they happy to let the contract ride out? That's the only question that needs to be answered now. And Newcastle will probably play some hardball because I think Dom Young's on about 800 or 900,000 a season. I know that he was close to $1 million signing. I think he's 800 or 900,000 a season. So they will be negotiating behind the scenes as to how much of Dom Young's contract Newcastle are willing to pay for, and this will go back and forth. That they'll be playing hardball because Newcastle know exactly what's going on, and if they don't, they should. They know exactly what's going on. The Roosters are trying to free up cash for Joey Manu and for DCE. So why should Newcastle shoulder a majority of Dom Young's contract unnecessarily? Like, they've got the power here. The Roosters are the ones trying to unload him. Dom Young's on $400K a season? No. He can't be on that. Hang on, let's have a look. That is a steal. If he went over at 400, that is a steal. Let's have a look. Dom Young contract. Okay, so he is contracted with the Roosters until the conclusion of the 2027 season. What's he on, though? 400 would be an absolute steal, even though he hasn't really performed. Where do we find this out? $2 million recruit told he's free to leave immediately. Okay, so $2 million to 2027. So that would have been 25, 26. So $2 million. So $2 million over 3 seasons. $2 million over 3 seasons would be. Barrel 72. Shane says 450K. Let's have a look. Oh, a deal worth more than $2 million. All right, so he's on more than $2 million until the end of 2027. So 3 years. So what's over 2 million divided by 3? Hang on, he played last year too, didn't he? Oh, yeah. So 4 seasons. Yeah. He was there last year. So 24, 25, 26, 27. Okay, so what's just over 2 million divided by 4? Okay, so he's on around about 500,000. Okay. There you go. Well, that's a steal then. All right, so what's probably happening is the Roosters are saying you can have him now pay $300,000 a year towards his contract. We'll shoulder the other $200,000. And Newcastle, because they know what's going on, have said, how about no? How about we pay you $150 a season? And the Roosters will balk at that because they'll try and offload him for 300 or 400 a season. That's basically what's happening right now. So, Jim Condon. Oh, You're not leaving. Odd Poppet is, I think, gauging by that. Yeah, catch you later, Odd Poppet. You take care of yourself, mate. A bloody garage door falling on you. I mean, jeez. Unreal. UFC says, why do you think they don't want him? His shitty defense? That would be part of it, UFC, yes. But also the fact that I just don't think that the Roosters necessarily expected the players that they've got to come through like they did. I mean, they signed Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase as a centre originally. Marky Mark came over from rugby union and he was going to play in the centres while he learnt, and then he would eventually shift out to the wing. Well, Robert Toya has come on and just exploded onto the scene in the centres. Injuries sort of forced an early shift for Marky Mark to the wing, and he took to it like a duck to water. So I don't think they really expected that. I feel like the Roosters thought they needed a Dom Young as a solid foundation because they didn't know what to expect from some of these guys that they had coming through. They signed Chad Townsend, for goodness sake, because they didn't have faith or they didn't know just how good Sandon Smith was going to be, for example, just how good Hugo Savala was going to be. I mean, and Chad Townsend's terrible form forced them into throwing Hugo Savala out there, and he has done 10 times better than anything Chad's done for them. So I think the Roosters, it was just poor management. They didn't understand what they have. They didn't trust what they have. And Dom Young's really poor defensive reads definitely adds to it. It's definitely part of the reason. But I think if they knew that they were going to get out of Marky Mark and Robert Toya what they've ended up getting, I don't think they ever signed Dom Young. I really don't. Yeah. Who knows? Scotty Wood says Jared Hayne made his return for the Wenty Magpies today. Very nice. Alex Johnson, I believe, is out injured again. Poor Alex Johnson returned, and I'm pretty sure he re-injured himself in his return game. UFC says he should sue the government for wrongful incarceration. Oh, absolutely he should. Hey, my understanding is that the chick that threw down the charges against him has since withdrawn the charges. He absolutely should sue the government for wrongful incarceration. And he should sue the chick as well. God damn, he should. Anyway. Probably a controversial topic to get into, I suppose. But yeah, I really hate seeing people's lives screwed up by, let's just say, people that play the victim card when they're actually not victims. But I digress. Dan, read what I sent you on your Discord. Okay, I'll check out Discord later on. I don't have it open at the moment. All right, I probably should head off before I get myself in any trouble. Is it really only 6:30? Wow. It's early, man. Oh, well. I'll head off. I'll give my mum a call for Mother's Day. I'll wish her a happy Mother's Day. Catch up on all the goss. And then I will record my State of Origin team selection video. Thank you so much for joining me here. Wasted Water Sports. Appreciate your company as always. NRL, Super Rugby, cricket, wrestling, Formula One. Jesus, Michelle even did some basketball the other day. Catch you next time. Whatever sport floats your boat. Until next time. Cheers.
1, 2, 3, 4, Teddy lost his shorts again. He's burning down the sideline. Boots blurred, defenders flatline. Eyes on the prize, he don't even flinch till his shorts get yanked and we all get a glimpse. Yo, he's got the moves, he's got the pace. That fullback fire, no one can chase. But every second game without fail, he moves the crowd like it's Tales from the Tail. Tedesco's got that power peach. Tears through lines like a one-man breach. Every try a cheeky show, 'cause someone always grabs too low. He's the king with the runaway pants. Flashing footy fans from the stands. Might lose his kit, but never the ball. He scores, they cheer, we've seen it all. Go, go, Teddy, buns of steel. Spin through tackles like a damn pinwheel. A camera zoom, slow-mo reveal. Another week, another cheeky ordeal. Jerseys ripped, shorts halfway down. Still busts the line and owns the town. From Roosters fans to ref surprise. The league's most famous gluteal thigh. He ain't trying to show it off, but every game becomes a strip off. He shrugs it off, another dash. Just Teddy being Teddy with ass and flash.